Mousesports 1-0 up in the series right now after a dominant victory over on Trade. Everyone stepping up in spades. Avangar, they left us wanting a little bit, but now moving into their map pick of Dust2. Do they have what it takes to pull this one back and take us the distance?
I certainly hope so, right? We're moving to a map that certainly isn't a comfort ground for Mousesports. It's one that we've already seen them fall to in this tournament already, in a best-of-1 albeit. But yeah, this is one where you'd like to think Avangar can turn things around and show us what they're really made of, because back on train, that's not the Avangar I expected to see.
I do seem to recall, though, when you and I were covering Pro League and we got to see Mousesports play, we actually had an interview with Carrigan, and he said, you know, they picked Dust2, they got ruined on it. Yeah. And he said, well, in scrims and in practice, Dust2 is a fantastic map for us, but in the actual server, in the official matches, it did seem to fall apart, right? You know, it was initially a map they said that they felt like was going to be one of their very, very comfortable ones. So I'm curious if we're going to get to see maybe a glimpse of that now, or if it will be Avangar rising up like we kind of expect them to here on Dust.
Especially when they have the momentum from the first map, the confidence of trying to get to that grand final by taking this 2-0. It's certainly doable, Harry. We're going to find out if it is indeed the case, but Dust2, I mean, no one's consistent on this map. Avangar maybe being one of the few. And full armor for the pistol round on their CT side. It's Mousesports with a hell of a lot of utility. Fitch holding down long, but Mousesports won't be committing. They're just running down the catwalk with that Xbox smoke. Trying to set up for this A split.
Yeah, and this is one of the things we saw them do a hell of a lot on Dust, is just this cat play with the close smoke to allow for these players to get past. It's actually going to fall down into CT, and Frozen hopping on through in the back of it. There is a man behind him, and he's going to go barreling through that smoke. It's Kicker. Somehow he's still alive. He's still doing damage. He's able to duck back into CT. Fitch is holding his own inside of the bomb site. Frozen trying desperately to recover this round, and it's the two youngsters left up on the side of Mousesports. Frozen will get one at the very least. We're into this 2-on-2, but Fitch continuing this great pistol round. Rops has been dropped, and it's Frozen alone, back against the wall, and a 4K for Fitch there in the pistol. Avangar, a much better start to this map as they're looking to try and build up some momentum early on.
Yeah, Fitch ended last map, Harry, with 5 kills. He was bottom of the server, so it's very
He's
nice.
He's almost beaten out,
yeah,
and we're one round into Dust.
It's very nice to see him start things off well. Funnily enough as well, I love how that round starts. Frozen drops and Kickett's behind him, and he doesn't check through that smoke, so it was basically like popped up all over again, really. Same players, same situation, but this time Avangar get ahead. Not for long, though. Frozen's had enough. Straight out long with the Deagle, and James been taken down. The flash from Chris blinds him. And there's another one where that came from. Frozen's not done just yet. Woxit will follow up onto Kick It down in mid, rotating off of B. And now Avangar have left that site. There's still Rops holding the exterior of the tunnels. And once Woxit gets that spot, Rops can just push inside the B site. There's a huge gap that Mousesports can exploit, and they're already there.
Yeah, Rops just has to land one shot, and he's very comfortable. Sanji left alone at a 1v3, but weapons have been retrieved. There's armor on the side of Mouse. Woxit tagged him up with the scout, and he's even able to finish things off. So Mousesports stealing a round straight back. Picture perfect stuff from Frozen to find a double entry out through long. And as you say, the second they spot Buster down in mid and Woxit's able to tag him up, that creates so much space for Rops. They know where both the remaining players are. He can take B. You can see that Buster was not ready for that. They didn't have the information that a player was so deep in the tunnels. And Mousesports making a very, very preemptive decision, not getting tunnel visioned on that pit player. That could have been their demise if they'd focused too much on getting that trade onto Sanji. But instead, they just back on off. Fitch is aggressive down on short in this round, though. And that's not something we've seen just yet from this Avangar side. He's going to be holding close with the 5-7 and armor. James here to try and tag a couple of players up as they look to aggress down through mid. And Fitch, he already had a stellar pistol. Can he replicate that now up on short? The answer is no.
Taken down early with only damage to Frozen. James going to spot this cat cruel. Just misses the timing of the flashbang blinds, and that gives Mousesports the room to send 3 players up on short. Kicker holding close on the site. If they Molotov this off, Sanji and Kicker are in for a world of hurt. Smoke down on Catwalk, and Mousesports are pushing through. There's that molly that will force both players into the open, but Woxit gets a kill with the flames, and Carrigan goes down to the CZ. The ammo runs dry, and Kicker's life too. Buster now alone. And although there are 3 players that are a one-shot with this scout, he's going to, of course, meet the one man with full HP. Chris J coming in clutch and saving that round for Mousesports. It's a 2-1. Fast cat play works out very well, and they deal with the pistols at hand.
I mean, that's pretty heartbreaking for Avangar, right? They're able to find themselves that pistol. You could see everyone was smiling. The confidence was maybe looking like it was going to come back to them. And then they get a cold, hard dose of reality. Once again in this round, Woxic laying down the pain, gets that kill through the double doors, and he only spotted one more player crossing with no smoke there. We could even just see an immediate B play from Mouse, but they're going to spot a few more players on the cross. Avangar have anticipated the same thing I just did. And that is not the case. Mouse instead just taking these fights over in mid, and they're going to get afforded them. Carrigan hungry for kills. Rops at the forefront will get tagged up. But just these pistols, I mean, this is going to be another clean round for Mouse.
Yeah, they're not moving. They just want the kills. They know Avangar will eventually get impatient. And in this time, Chris has wrapped up from the A site. He's dropped into the CT spawn. Oh, dear. He's going to go down. Buster, fantastic shots. Double dink with the USP. Easier said than done. Impressive kill, but it won't make a difference. Mousesports still deal with Sanji and a 3-1 lead as they get rid of that full eco from Avangar. Now the buy coming through, though, and this is what we've been waiting for. The AWP chucks straight over. And interestingly enough, Buster throws the AWP to James, and he'll take, as a result, Armorless Org. That was definitely on purpose. Maybe we'll see him play a position like back B site. He likes to do that occasionally, where you can just run that headshot angle. Won't have to worry about the lack of armor if they go for the B rush. We need James on this AWP, and he will try and start off a middle, binded by the flash, and Mousesports fast.
Oh, Carrigan, he's already out in B. He's climbed over the top of this smoke. Buster, did he not hear it? Carrigan, yeah. He certainly heard that. Carrigan stampeding past Buster. Now, Penny's going to drop here. This is the B split from Mousesports. So these rotations are a way off, but Jane helps out. Good flash thrown in from Frozen, allows Chris J to deal with the 1B side player. So in spite of Avangar's best efforts, this is still the 3-on-3 retake into B. And with the AWP on Jame, one singular flash and a smoke, no defuse kits. This is a round that Avangar are likely going to have to save it.
Yeah, they've realized it already, just rotating back off. Jame wants this AWP. He's not really had a chance. He gets one kill with it in that round. But other than that, Mousesports avoid him well. They spot the AWP in middle, they flash him off again and again, and they just get that B-site play from Carrigan. He thought it was empty. That's why he started running. He didn't spot anyone because the one player on the site was so close to that smoke. But once he goes down, he realizes, okay, there's a max of 1B. My team can just rush into that site and we'll get it every time. So nice round from Mousesports. They deal with it. And they take a 4-1 lead here on the T side.
And I mean, you know, Mousesports over on this map have had like a very tumultuous time as of late, right? You know, yesterday you think back to it versus Valiants, they weren't able to get a single CT side round. That is something to bear in mind. But that said, you know, throughout the kind of history of this roster existing, at least, normally it is the CT side that was the strong one. So the game versus Valiants did feel like a bit of an anomaly in that sense. I feel like if you're Avangar, you really do need to get off to a good start here. And the fact that Mousesports sitting 4-1 up and you've only got the partial investment around these 3 saved rifles, you're looking at Sanji, Fitch, and Jame to get so much done in this round. They really do need to show their worth more than ever. But there is this 4-man stack for Avangar in the A bomb site. Mousesports looking like they might go walking right into it. And Chris J on the opener. Pickert's been dropped. Carrigan leading the charge into this bomb site. Opens things up. Jamin with the response. Sanjay gets another. But Rops finding that frag over towards B has opened up that bomb site, and the bomb just rotating away. Avangar once again betrayed by this B play, and Chris J throwing down the gauntlet over in mid. Mousesports 5-1 up, and the money still in an awkward spot here for Avangar.
Chris J has been playing so well. I thought it would be very easy for, you know, such an experienced player to just fall back into being more of a supportive one once seeing these young stars get added to the roster, but he has shined more than ever in these last few months.
That's something I was going to bring up. I was just going to say, one of the reasons why I think this Mousesports roster has looked so good. Wow, we'll hold this though, because this round is an important one. We got 2 AWPs between Jame and Buster. So the double AWP getting bought out now for Avangar. James posted up over on short, trying to take that early aggression, but he hasn't spotted anyone. Avangar still falling back into this 4-man A hold, leaving Buster to solo hold that B side of things. Now, we have seen him struggling. Rops being able to fairly consistently open things up inside of this B bomb. So as a result of only 1 man being there, this time they do put Sanji down in mid. So at least Buster does have some support. He has the potential of that rotation. However, B doesn't look like it's on Mousesports' mind right now. They've set up for the A side play. Molotovs will hold them back for the time being. James going to fall back into CT, so they actually relinquish the A bomb site. And have they anticipated this is going to be a B play from Mouse?
Interesting. I mean, they've seen nothing, that's the thing. They've spotted no players, they've got deep cat, and I think that's somewhat selling this information for Avangar. They go, okay, they might be out on long, but surely they don't have 4 players on long. Well, they don't, they have 3, and the bomb. So with Fitch up on catwalk, Avangar go for a second, maybe it's B, but now they realize probably not the right call to make. Of course, you can also retake this A site far easier, so fair enough to wanting to put more presence over on B. But 30 seconds after Mousesports, they've crept up on this A site. There, the kill starting to come through. James drops the bomb on the cross, and Fitch as well, following up. It's Woxic alone, dropping the AWP, but there's plenty more where that came from. Double peak from the likes of Buster and Fitch, and Avangar will deal with that one. 2 rounds on this CT side. Almost a misread, but with Mousesports taking their time, they actually walk into the stack.
Yeah, finally, you see the results of that 4-man A-hold from Avangar. I do think largely because, you know, from Mousesports, a lot of the strats we've seen from them have been these kind of catwalk plays. That's why we've seen so much attention from Avangar at this side of the map. Mousesports really are kind of changing their game up as to how they approach Dust2 in this map right now. They're a big fan of going for that Xbox smoke early, taking cat control, dropping the close smoke, and then trying to hit that A bomb site, using the smokes to maneuver in. But we've seen a much bigger focus from Mouse towards these B splits, and this round's more of the same. But Buster chiming in with that AWP. Kicker this time is here to support, and Avangar very, very fast on this rotation. There's already players here, but Carrigan out through mid has found one. Fitch gets the trade. Will they anticipate Kicker holding close? Everyone's blind. It's chaos, and the bomb's rotating away. The footsteps have sold this rotation, and Chris J has got so much ground over towards this A bomb site.
Avangar is so confused because Kicker, before that flash came in, he saw a player walk into B. He walked through that smoke and then got blinded. Now they've lost those players. Mousesports have doubled back in towards middle because Chris J heard the rotations below him. As a result, he's taken A. And Avangar, they think they've got Mousesports trapped in the B tunnels. They couldn't be further from the truth. Now starting to realize with these footsteps above them, they're going to have to retake A. They can't stop this bomb from going down despite having the man advantage. Cat plant coming through, and luckily enough for Avangar, that's exactly where they're retaking from, but the double Molotov keeps them back for a few more seconds, and that allows Chris J to advance. Playing close towards the stairs, and Rops side by side as well. This is still going to be Avangar coming back towards Catwalk, but they're taking their damn time.
They do have this one flash on Sanji. He's going to line that up from the bottom of mid to try and allow Kicker to get the peak, but Rops and Chris both look away. Fitch gets bested over at long by Woxic, and this round is all said and done. Avangar have got to back off, and you can really see how they've been conditioned to be so worried about that B bomb site. Helped out massively by that nice fake throwing in from Mouse, obviously, right? They've charged those players into B. Kicker even spots them. They actually get into the B bomb site and then tuck tail back to A.
Yeah, that's definitely like a mid-round change. That wasn't the game plan for Mousesports at all. But once they lose Frozen to the AWP, they realize B might be a little bit more than they expected here. And Chris J finds the perfect timing up on Catwalk and gets all the info for those rotations that Avangar make very noisily through the spawn. And I don't blame them. As you said, they've been conditioned to worry about this B site. They can't get back into it when they lose it. So why not put a heavy setup there? The issue is no retake coming through for them, and Mousesports with another T-side round. Buster's back with the AWP. Flashbang misses, Buster doesn't. Woxic's down. That's a huge pick for Avangar. Could certainly set them up in this round for some success. Chris J looks for a timing play on long in the meantime, and Carrigan, he's crept out through middle. He knows that AWP is down on B, and James is likely to be on that A site, so mid has been somewhat freely taken by Mousesports, but they can't get much further. Fitch spotted by Chris J, exchanging damage, and actually stuck to the wall. Fitch tries to escape, but Chris will get the kill. That equalizes it. Sanji moves back towards middle, and Carrigan almost gets timed by the weapon swap, but he gets there just in the last second.
They're still testing Buster over at B, and that is a decision they might come to regret. Rops gets deleted, and actually now back into the 3-on-3. Buster is delivering in this round. He's anchoring this B bomb site like a madman, but he's got a lot more left to do. Still 2 players on the other side of that smoke. 45 seconds. There is time for Mousesports to change this if they would like, but they're going to commit to the B play. Ooh. Chris J's tagged up through that smoke. Carrigan trying to make noise, but James finds him, and now Mousesports going for this rotation back through the tunnels. They know that Kickert's over towards B. Carrigan spotted him. They know that Buster's here with the AWP, so they're going to try and challenge James, who sits alone inside of A. He'll take up a position over here at long, trying to keep an eye on the doors. Here's that Molotov from short, and James, we've seen so many highlight clips of him from the crossroads. He's looking for another, his second kill of the round, and Chris J tagged up earlier. One shot is all that is required, and Kicker is there to assist. So Avangar able to answer back and finally do hear the call. They get themselves a third round on the board. And Buster, it really is actually now, since getting this AWP in hand over towards B, he's been doing a stellar job of holding his own at this side of the map.
He was one of the two players that actually kept that game alive in the previous map for Avangar. It was him and Kicker who had lights out performances, and Buster's continued that into Dust2 as well as Train. We didn't really get to see him AWP too much on that one. This is perfect for him, just locking down that B site alone, no longer fearful of Avangar, and they can be a little less keen on these rotations, especially with all the fakes and all the mid-rounds that Mousesports are doing, with them constantly changing sites. Oh, Chris J, he's crouching, he's hiding, he's ducking below the bullets. And Sanji won't get caught this time. Chris J just backs out of that one. Lucky he didn't get taken down through the smoke. Sanji going to call for some assistance. James can post up on the corner and make first contact here. In the meantime, Mousesports are certainly looking for this A play, but they need to get out long before they commit to it. And that's where this double setup from Avangar, focused on the long position, is so much more valuable. Mousesports are going to have a tough time of getting into this A site.
They will be able to flash James back off the angle, but he will float around over towards the car. He can help both long and short from this position. He's going to try and assist Sanji over at long, but he's gone. Now James here, the AWP cries out, does find the first, but Rops toying with him, jiggling around that corner. And just Buster and Kicker left. They are going to try and watch this cross. There was a gap in the smoke, albeit briefly. And with that bomb being planted for long, this round is solidified. Avangar just have to back off and save. So Mousesports immediately in with the response. They find themselves a 7th round. And it almost feels like kind of all the stars are lining for Mouse in a lot of these, right?
Well, they've just been shutting down Avangar, right? They're like, in this round, a great example is Avangar. While Mousesports are setting up and are bursting long, Avangar have 2 players inside of that B site. They have no mid control, and they have a AAA setup. And that's because every time we've seen Sanji try and fight middle, Mousesports just assault him with flashbangs. They don't give him any room, and they just keep throwing utility. So Avangar opt to give up mid, and that just means these rotations are even longer back towards A, therefore rendering them useless in this round. They can't retake that site, they can't save this for the CT side, and Mousesports will get a 7th.
Interesting thing to note as well, we have yet to see a tactical pause in this entire series from either squad. So
I think Mousesports had one early on Train, but Avangar have not used any.
Yeah, which is maybe a bit worrying now, right? They didn't call any on Train, where obviously they did get bested pretty one-sidedly as well.
That is a surprise that you say that, because think about the T side of Mousesports on Train, where they were just rushing every single round, and Avangar didn't once slow down the pace with the pause. That is a questionable decision. But that's down to the coach. I mean, he needs to, Dust2 needs to tell them to take a pause if they want to do that.
And another thing is, right, you know you're up against Carrigan. He's a man who, on the back of a tactical pause, you know he's just going to throw the scrapbook out the window and do something completely unexpected. A fast A play. And this is this cat play that I was talking about that Mousesports love to run on Dust. This is kind of their bread and butter, or at least it has been. Oh, James! Well, he's shut down Carrigan, looking for more. What is he doing? 3 kills. He's hopping around this A-bomb site, and he's shutting it down. What a flick. What a play. What a man. And he might have salvaged a 4th for Avangar. The bomb plant does come in. Frozen and Woxic to try and hold down this bomb site. But missed shot, Woxic's found. And Jabe, my word. I mean, I think if you look at Avangar on Dust and you put together a highlight reel, so many of them would be James at the crossroads with that AWP holding down short. He feels so comfortable at that portion of the map. But that flick shot onto Carrigan, did he even see him?
The worst part about that is he's double scoped, Harry. He's double scoped and he still gets the headshot. That's unreal. Not even on his screen. Just sees the head for a second and perfect accuracy.
And this is how I think Avangar have to get back into this. James hasn't, I mean, Buster kind of was looking like the better AWPer out of the two of them. Now, James hasn't really seen that much action. A lot of the time, being left in those retakes. Woxic trying to play off the long spawn there, burns down in that Molotov, anticipates there would be a player peeking on the back of it or maybe trying to cross into the pit. Usually, if you do molly long, it is to try and set a player up a bit more aggressively. This time, instead, it's a cap focus from Fitch. And he will take one to the dome. Sanji having his turn to step up, but Woxic finally chiming in, goes toe-to-toe with James, and that's the bomb dropped over towards short.
That's an awkward position, and Chris J, so is he in one. No rifle. And James has this cross. Chris has to use utility if he wants to get across this one safely. This is going to be a free kill for James, if not. Rops, in the meantime, grabs the bomb up on Catwalk. And this is where Chris, could just wait for Rops to make next contact. He could try and get a long plant in. There's no one here to stop it, so Chris doesn't actually need to fight. The issue is, if you get a long plant in, there's not much Chris can do if they get on that bomb. He has a CZ. So, let's see how Mousesports choose to approach this. Flashes towards the spawn, keeping that AWP back. Long plant is found, and Rops can throw guns over. He can assist Chris with some weaponry, but the flash is holding back as well. He needs to grab that org and get into the pit. And if he does, there's no one retaking from long. Avangar, they swap out one of the AWPs for this retake, but this still isn't going to be easy.
Yeah, actually, Rops has gotten away with a bit of chip damage there on a Buster. Chris J with this scavenged ore, good for one, but it's Rops alone. Flick up to James, and Kicker's gone as well. Rops answering the call, locking it down. 2 kills for him there in the post plant. Big stuff from the Estonian young gun, and that is going to be another round for Mouse. They're tallying up round by round. Might not have the biggest throwing arm when it came to getting that org across to Chris. But my God, has he got the arm for the flicks.
And the flex. Mousesports running away with this map right now, Harry, on the T side of things. This is the pick of Avangar, and despite picking up that previous round, Mousesports calling in a pause. Still with some questions to be answered, maybe. It's been very back and forth for these last few rounds.
And this is a good time for us to go back to that point that I was trying to make about why I think this Mousesports iteration is one of the best that we've seen. Carrigan, right, obviously coming into that IGL role, he's got a team of, a lot of young players, a lot of inexperienced players here that he can mold to fit his form of whatever he kind of likes. So that is the style that Carrigan, loves. And not to mention, we're seeing Chris J looking like a free man. He's not burdened by the IGL role anymore, and he's fragging out, but James, that boost does net 2 kills over him. Mid, Chris J and Frozen are gone. And so now Mousesports on the back of that tack pause. You were hoping you'd see something. Carrigan down 3 short. Into CT, and James has been blindsided by it. Now Carrigan, he is trapped down here in CT. While it's got them 1, he's now got to look for some support from the rest of the squad. Buster will get rid of Woxic. Fighting with the D. Kicker's there to help, and Rops left up in the 1v4. He's got B, but no bomb. And Kicker will cement a 5th round there for Avangar. Fantastic stuff from James and Kicker to secure that round. So he will be in with a 5th on the tally.
The last 8 rounds have not been consecutive for either team. It has been back and forth all half long. Mousesports did initially run away with that 5-1 lead, but since then it's not been as clean cut as they would have liked. That being said, not going to complain. 8-5 is a damn good scoreline on this T side, but now the money's finally been broken, and Mousesports, they have no time for ecos, Harry. They force. They want that 10-5, 2 rounds after the half, and this is their best chance of doing it. 9-6 apparently not satisfying enough for this roster. Straight up catwalk again, it's James. He could be the man to shut this one down. There's only one flashbang to deal with this position. Molly on the site. Carrigan's got to get him off the angle with this flash. It goes through, blinds him. If James took the shot there before he scoped out, he gets maybe even a collateral, but this time he gets shot through the wall. Woxic with the scout opens up. The one weapon Mousesports had, and the one weapon they needed to take down the point man. Sanji's even caught on that long rotation, and now it's 3-on-5. Mousesports may have a force, but they also may have a round.
I mean, yeah, Avangar, they're backing off. They don't have the money to try and, throw weapons into this. Mousesports have done it. Woxic and Chris J, between them, They've secured a round. Woxic gets the free upgrade onto the AWP. Chris J's got himself a Krieg, his weapon of choice.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, this is worrying. This was Avangar's chance to get back into this game in a big way. If you pick up this round here, Mousesports have very little money to work with, and the odds are if you're Avangar, you can get a 7-8 half, and that's very doable. Now you're staring down the barrel of a 9-5 scoreline. There's so much money on Mouse, and your buy into the last round of the half is going to be supplemented thanks to these rifles. But they have to get away with them, and Carrigan's Deagle will strike Fitch from the tally. 2 weapons held forward. The buy still able to come through from Avangar. They're able to field a pretty decent one at that.
And look at that shot. Woxic almost getting blocked by his teammate as well there, but still gets away with the kill. And Chris's perfect timing play out on long. Him and Rops, Chris and Rops have been finding so many timings and so many little gaps in this defense from Avangar in these late round situations, causing some really nice rotates from Mousesports. 9-5, last round of the half. And with it all to play for here for the likes of Avangar, they've got no AWP either. Sanji, oh, he's blind, but he's spraying away. He gets one. Dink onto Frozen as well, and further damage to Rops. But Mousesports are out in this position. They've taken long, with Carrigan ready to split up Catwalk at a moment's notice. Fitch not armed for this fight towards long. He's going to have to close the distance, try and catch Carrigan on the edge of this smoke, retreating. And maybe at the wrong time, because Carrigan approaches, Fitch gets the kill instead. Mousesports left to this triple long setup, but everyone from Avangar is here except Buster.
Yeah, they're walking into an even fight, and those are not the ones you ever want to take if you're Mowers. Now they sit effectively. Oh. Now it is actually just Woxic alone. Frozen will at least burn one man out from beyond the grave, but it's Woxic. We've already seen Poltergeist Frozen a couple of times, this time once again from beyond the grave, traumatizing Avangar. But Woxic, he might need some help of his own from the Spirit Realm if he wants to get this one off. Bomb picked up, so he's got that to work with at least. Fitch wrapping around over towards long. Woxic, where's he going to plant for? He can try and keep an eye on this from long, but instead just playing inside of the bomb site. Really his only option. He hears James down in CT, making noise. Molotov going to deny a couple of options, but Woxic, there's the first. The ball is rolling now. Can be hard to stop when Woxic's on the other side, but Buster with that rotation will secure a 6th round for Avangar. Of course he's the man to get it done. Time and time again. A monstrous half from Mowers, but Avangar are able to stumble back to their feet towards the end. They sit 3 rounds behind. They're going to have to try and make this comeback happen in the second half over on their T side. Find out if they can take us the distance or if Mousesports lock in their final spot here and now after the break.
Took my heart and made it colder. I took my soul and tried to run, but I have nowhere to hide. And you'll find me every time. You pretty little lies are a game.
50,000 Jamers used to game here, but right now it's a Mouse Town. They're set up 9-6 at the end of that first half. And we do need to see the recovery from Avangar. Now, James leading the charge. He's the man I'm going to be looking towards on that AWP. Mousesports already, though, look at this mid aggression. They pushed Chris J and Co out into mid. Avangar, they've got control of long. No presence here from the side of Mouse. And Chris J arriving a little late to the party. Double smoke down on the crosser. There's a huge gap in that. You've used 2 smokes and you've still fluffed it. That's going to give a lot of room to Mouse. Woxic and Chris J laying waste to the long play. It's James and Sanjay left standing. And now just James. Try as he might, he can't win the fight. And Mousesports 10-6, the pistol round over in seconds.
Just no respect as well. They realize the long play's coming out. They spot nothing in tunnels. They spot nothing up top mid. They rotate round and just flash their way through those smokes. Gap or not, it doesn't matter. Mousesports just went for it, and everyone was blind from Avangar. That is very, very impressive from Mousesports. And what a way to start off the second half as well. 10-6, Avangar left scrambling. Chris J's pushed tunnels with a deagle. Not every day you see this. And I don't think Avangar have a clue either. They weren't in T-spawn, they weren't watching the mid push. Will be checked by a Glock. Not good enough. Chris gets the kill, moves up even further into the tunnels. He might follow up, but it's finally going to be the Glock that shuts him down. Not a worry, he's not gifted anything too valuable over to the likes of Avangar. And they're not really armed for the job either. Woxic spots a player going B-side. I wonder if that will force rotations because he's double scoped. Needs to worry about close mid, and that's where Buster peaks. Rops is pushed up in the tunnels on the flank. And he might be able to make a bit of a mess here in middle. Buster's close on the corner. One at the top, that's the bomb drop, but Buster gets the trade, and Woxic will keep things kicking for Mousesports. Tanji has found the timing inside of B after Rops got aggressive, but without that bomb, Avangar, doesn't really matter if they've got the site. Woxic just needs to remain aware of the possibility that he could be getting flanked. And James been spotted as well. This is looking like a bit of a done deal right now, unless Sanji can find something with the P250, but that isn't meant to be. And Mousesports, 3 players alive. No problem there in the Antico, but here's the buy round for Avangar. Here's their first chance on this second half.
Yeah, this is where we really get to see them be tested, right? This is where we get our first indication of how this T-side can shape up for Avangar. It's a pretty important round at that, because losing this, you're partial investing in the next. If you don't pick that one up, this is approaching a very deadly scoreline indeed. Chris J going to be donning that AWP. It's Woxic over on the scout, so a bit of a switch up from a bit of a role reversal. No AWP in sight over in the hands of James, though. It is just rifles across the board in the Avangar camp, and as a result, they decide to stay away from long, stay away from these longer angles, and they want to try and hit B. Rops is here, a man who so good at anchoring these bomb sites. You think about Train, he's the man who holds B. Here on Dust, same story. He's got a rotation available from Chris on that AWP, but he might not need it, because Rops, 4 kills, everybody's gone, and Fitch, 1v5 required. Rops has decimated Avangar. A 12th round almost guaranteed here for Mouse, and I was bigging this one up. Avangar is such an important round for them to pick up, a chance for them to show what they're made of. But they've been tested and they've not done their homework. Fitch wants to hold on to the AK, but a 40-second save. They know where he is. They're hounding him down, and Woxic is there to delete him. 12-6 in favor of Mouse, and a dominant first in the rifle there.
They just had enough, Harry. They want to go back for a nap before the grand final. Mousesports are just looking to get this over and done with like it's nothing. This was what I assume could be one of the best games of the entire tournament, but Avangar are getting melted. Mousesports turning up the heat here on Dust2. 12-6 up right now. Hero AK for Kickert. James on the scout. Avangar, nothing to work with other than that. Just Glocks, so almost a formality. Mousesports should have a 13th round here unless Kickert or James can do something incredible. Kickert has started, taking down Karrigan on long, but running through the doors, through the smoke, and into the waiting arms of Frozen, expecting maybe that long's empty was such a close position, but couldn't be further from the truth. I think he actually wallbanged Karrigan there as well, who was playing close left. He's been doing that for a couple of rounds now for Mousesports. It's a nice read from Kickert, but it won't save the round, and it will put the AK into no man's land. Frozen retrieves it, and Woxic now, he's got to hold down the A site with this AWP. Does spot presence up there. But that Molotov will keep Avangar back and will actually force them back into Frozen. Once again, this time he's pushed and he's up top mid, ready and waiting.
Maz is just doing such a good job of pushing and prodding this Avangar offensive. This default has not found anything. Really do just have to hedge their bets at this point in time. And with that bomb on the back of Fitch, he's alone over at long. If he tries to play into this and that gets dropped, this round could be over before it even begins for Avangar. While he finds damage, that is the bomb thrown away. They also lose Sanji over towards short, so Jabe alone, 1v4 required. Might be able to get Frozen or something along those lines, but it's not happening. Mousesports 13-6. That nightmare scenario that we were trying to paint a picture of, the one that Avangar were hoping to avoid, well, it has came true. Carrigan is the Sandman. He's in your dreams. He's in your nightmares.
And it's going to take 100 years for Avangar to try and remedy this situation. Frozen having a fantastic performance as well. 16 years old and top of the entire server in the semi-final, looking to send Mousesports into the grand final. And not far from doing so, Carrigan close up on long. Nice nade, that did a good bit of damage, and the spray certainly will as well. Buster's dead, Fitch is still left out to dry on this corner, and Chris J's coming for support. A lot of pressure being put on by Mousesports, and Fitch is stuck alone, yet to be spotted. But Carrigan, his spidey senses are tingling, the smoke is cut off long, and now they're going to start to clear out this position. Make sure the Fitch is not waiting, but Carrigan's found him. Mousesports 5-on-3, and it might just be a 5-on-2 if Woxic hits a shot. He does. James not on the right angle, watching the left side of mid. And Woxic will crawl in with another kill. It's Mousesports in a 5-on-2, and Avangar desperation B hit here.
Yeah, I mean, Rops, he shut them down single-handedly just rounds ago. He's looking to do it once again. Kicker, 1-on-5. It was Fitch in this situation last time around. This time, it's Kicker to try and get the job done. But with the wraparound from Woxic in through lower tunnels, Kicker has been spotted, and this round solidified. Mousesports, they've come into this semi-final looking to send a message. They are all guns blazing right now. They might have had a couple of upsets here and there earlier on in the tournament. For example, that loss to Valiance on day one. But here, on Dust in this semi-final, they are laying waste to Avangar.
And they're just proving themselves, Harry, right? This is a tournament for Mousesports where they're testing themselves, going, okay, how good can we be? If we win this tournament cleanly, you know, what's next? What's in the future? Tier 1, undoubtedly at this point. Mousesports taking no prisoners. Avangar not far from the gallows now. 2 rounds separate Mousesports from that final spot. Woxic's up on Cat with the AWP. James does have his, and it is looking like a B play for Avangar again. Kicker's going to be late playing the catwalk potentially. Just trying to get info. But the issue is, if he pushes, Woxic's going to be on the other side. Just trying to bait the shot there. Not going to be able to do so. Chris, headshot by the Deagle of Sanji, and that's the opening into B. Rops has got to do something, but the flashes are so good. He only gets 1 for his trouble. Sanji doubles down with the Deagle. The one unarmored player finding all the frags for Avangar.
Yeah, they will be afforded this bomb plant. Now, there's plenty of money on the side of Mouse. They can definitely justify giving this a look in, but it looks like they might decide to play it safe and just back off. Elect to hold on to these weapons. And I like that decision, right? You've got a lot of room. You got a lot of room to breathe here if you're Mouse. You give Avangar 1 round. It is not the end of the world, and it is just going to soak up so much of these costs in the following, getting to hold onto the AWP in Woxic's hands. Everyone else, you know, sitting around that $6,000 to $10,000 mark. So money is far from a problem here.
I think Sanji's going to die. This is
he
fine
doesn't
if
have
you,
armor.
Yeah, if you have armor, this is fine. You'll have 20 HP, but I'm pretty sure he's dead. Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe not realizing. Bomb does more damage when you don't have armor. So, a bit awkward. Not the end of the world. He got 2 kills anyway. He made that round a reality for his team. And yeah, great shots hit by Sanji. So the B entries coming through, but you can't do that every round, right?
James does have that AWP back in hand. Trying to take the fight down mid onto Chris J. and Woxic, but with 2 AWPs looking back at him, James going to be hard-pressed. Woxic will now turn his attention down towards lower tunnels, and it just feels like everywhere Avangar try and turn, there is someone on the side of Mousesports with their crosshairs trained in on these positions, and these aren't, you know, the usual engagement spots. Carrigan, great example here, hidden over in the cubby of blue. Sanji will check it. And Carrigan's been spotted, getting dealt with. Frozen now posted up over at long, here alone, trying to trade this back. Kicker was holding the angle. Frozen flashed in, looking for more, but Jame in with the trade. A 3v3, and Avangar still very much in this round.
And Sanji still very much in long. Woxic knows it. They already spotted him cross behind the dumpster, so he gets taken down on the retreat. Because meanwhile, Avangar are taking B, or at least trying to. And they have it for free right now. Little do they know it. Robson's about to hit the window, and that's the perfect timing. Buster was checking the car. Now Jame alone. Still going to opt for this B site. It is his best bet right now, but he needs this opening kill. He needs to take down Robs if he wants any chance, and Robs is not giving him an inch. Hiding behind the Xbox, waiting for Jame to commit. The molly's there. Robs goes for it, and he'll take him down. Fire, flames, nothing's going to stop Mousesports. 15-7 and 1 away from a victory.
The scary thing about this Mousesports squad is they feel like one of those like self-learning AIs. You know, like you face them, you know, they get faced once on a map. Okay, yeah, maybe they get hurt a bit. But then you can guarantee the next time you see them on it, it is like a completely new format. You know, they'll just turn things around. And here on Dust, great example. They didn't get a single CT side round yesterday. And here, they've only dropped 1 round since moving into this CT half.
Avangar just wanted to play a game of checkers, but Mousesports, they're on Grandmaster mode on chess. 15-7, and Avangar another weak buy, another lack of utility. 1 smoke, 1 molly, 2 flashes. Bomb still in spawn as well. I don't imagine it's anywhere near a site, or gonna get anywhere near a site in this round. Woxic already up on catwalk. This is the key fight. Flashed off the angle. Jamie is given short. And look elsewhere now with his AWP, try and find a pick somewhere. And Mousesports don't have their own AWPs, but with Chris J also running one. Jame is safe nowhere. Maybe middle could be his answer, but Carrigan's got the angle. He sees his legs before Jame can even spot him, and that's a free kill for Carrigan. Very powerful angle there as a CT, and he's not done with it. 2 kills from Carrigan, dropping Kickert as well mid. These are 2 of the key players for Avangar across this series. Bust is still up. But is it going to be enough here for Avangar to salvage this round?
Well, he was so good at anchoring down B, and now we need to see him anchor this round down. You know, tether Avangar back into this map. Woxic homing his attention over towards short. Sanji's been dropped, and with it, the bomb. 25 seconds, Avangar have to make a play. They have to get into one of these bomb sites and get that bomb down. Time is of the essence. Mousesports looking to take this here and now and lock in that final spot. They are just 2 kills away from doing it. Chris J with 1 and Woxic on the other. Mousesports, they take this series in a 2-0 fashion. Fantastic stuff from this squad, and they lock in their spot in the grand finals later today. Avangar, I mean, their faces kind of say it all. They are very hurt by this one. I mean, you know, they were looking so good coming into this. We saw some glimmers of hope. We saw some glimmers of the Avangar we wanted to see. And I think, you know, at least they can look at this as, you lost to Mousesports. I think they're the favorite team to win this event, right? So maybe all is not lost, but you've got a lot to go back and look at. You've got a lot to build on. And this Mousesports squad looking deadly. I would not want to be Valiant or G2 after seeing that performance.
No, knocking down the reigning champions of DreamHack, just coming off the back of the win at Rio, were Avangar, and they'll go out in the semi-finals this time. Mousesports are looking like a powerhouse, Harry. And moving forward, I mean, sky's the limit really for this team, not just in this tournament, but going forward into future ones. I can't wait to see what Mousesports have got for us. It's not the last we're going to see of them today.
No, definitely not. And we just don't know where that skill ceiling ends for this Mousesports squad, right? They're still a team on the up and up. They haven't been together very long at all, and you're already getting results like this. That is impressive, to say the least. I mean, we saw big moments from everyone. Frozen stepping up, Chris J had a phenomenal performance on Train, all the pieces of the puzzle aligned. But to break that down that much further, we're going to bring back the wonderful folks over at the desk. What a series. What did you make of that?
Well, it was a statement of intent, wasn't it, Potter?
It definitely was, and I gotta point out, Mousesports, the entire story of the game was exactly that CT pistol that they started off so strong strong. Majority of the teams, they do tend to take that mid-fight, but Mousesports, they had the 2 flashbangs ready to possibly go to B or possibly go to long A, and they took the fight to Avangar every single time and came out on top majority of the time.
Were you impressed with how much Mouse managed to clean up that CT side? I mean, we didn't get to see much of it today, but did it look better to you, Blair?
Absolutely, but I'm just going to stick with what Potter said as well. Their T side especially was phenomenal. The way they were just outplaying Avangar time and time again. They were forcing them to react all the time, having to over-rotate all the time. And can I just say, Carrigan, what is he even on? The man's deagling like a god. He's AWPing as well. He's entry fragging. He's in-game leading. He's doing everything right now.
He definitely is. And man, the story of this 3-man pack, Kerrigan, Walkstick, and Frozen, these 3 seem to be going out into the middle of the map and finding the fights, and either Kerrigan getting set up with the flashes or Frozen getting set up with the flashes. And with Chris J and Rops on the extremities of the map, they're lurking and they're trying to be the insurance policy, and they are so successful at that. While Chris J is gaining the contact, the others on the other side of the map are just exploding out onto the site, and it really punished Avangar.
Absolutely.
And Frozen, we got to see really come into his own on those CT sides as well, because it feels like maybe people have been a little bit critical, like where's Frozen showing up, etc., etc. Here at DreamHack Open, I mean, I've seen him perform incredibly well on LAN previously, but on that CT side, on Train, the 4K with the pistol, his loose lurking, I believe you called it, on Dust2 as well, Blair. It's really exciting to see. And we'll talk about that quite soon, because before that, we need to check in with Mousesports. Hello, Regin, how are you?
I'm very good. We just won, so...
Yeah, oh, we just won. It's just
Sorry?
casual. We just won, very casual. You know, you were expecting to, I'm guessing, Regin?
Yeah, of course, I always expect us to win 2-0, but Avangar is a really good team. But I think as the score shows today, it was really a good team effort, and everyone showed up today.
And what's it like for you as the coach? Because here you can actually talk to your team during freeze time between those rounds. So what's the relationship like between you and Carrigan at the DreamHack Open?
I mean, I try not to talk too much in freeze time because we can't do it in other events. But of course, at the same time, when you're available of it, you kind of try and help out where you can if you see a gap somewhere. Yeah, so we're just trying to figure out how is the best thing to do.
Looking at that Dust2 game, one thing I noticed was you seem to be able to find holes on Avangar's CT side, something which most teams struggle to do. What did you do a little different there?
I mean, I spent like a few hours studying them yesterday on Dust2, and I noticed that they always like tend to do these gambles where they do like 3 instant B or 3 long and stuff like that. So we just need to figure out whether they use the nades, and then we try to find the gap from there.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations on making the final. You're going to be facing G2 or Valiant, so I'm guessing neither of those teams really intimidates you.
I mean, of course, it's always hard to play those teams. Valiant has been on the rise, and it's a really strong team with really good individuals. G2, you can never sign off. They're on home soil. They want to do this for the crowd, so I hope it's going to be G2 in the final.
You've got so many events coming up as well, and hopefully, if you win, we'll get to talk a bit more about those later. But what would winning the DreamHack Open here in Tours mean to the team?
I think it's going to be like a confirmation that we actually belong to the top, and that we can like qualify for the major when we're going to face off this team in the minor.
And you've never actually won a DreamHack Open before, so fingers crossed for you, Regin, and the boys. Thank you so much for talking to us. We'll see you in the grand final.
I'll see you.
There we go.
Confident words.
Yeah, it's all in a day's work for that, boys. I can see the boys over there. I'm trying really hard not to like wave at them. Honestly, as I said, I was riding with them in the car today, and therefore I feel an affinity. We're car buddies. We carpool together now.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just want to be part of the team. Let's go to the drawing board, Potter, because I know that you've got something to show us from Train.
Yeah, we're going to briefly go over this Train. It was in the 14th round here, and the most impressive thing is Avangar is so known for being disciplined and holding their ground, but you can see here, we're going to start off looking at Kerrigan and Chris J going very aggro towards this alley. They're going to throw a bunch of utility, a bunch of nades, and they're just trying to draw out the attention. Hey, look, Avangar, we're planning to execute on this side of the map. However, if you look here, we've got 3 members ready to make a contact play inner as soon as they understand that Chris J and Kerrigan are bringing out and drawing out all this attention. And if you look here, all the CTs, their rotations, Mousesports are being so successful at manipulating the movements on the map, and they understand this. And if we take a look at the highlight here and first-person view of Kerrigan, we're going to see that these guys are going to be able to creep out to alley, and they're not even really focused on movement or spacing, which is what we're used to seeing. They're just going to hold their ground. Kerrigan understands that he's done his job. Now his focus is going to be to finish off those kills, and it's really impressive to see these kind of disciplined plays and understanding the movements on the map and really understanding that you've done your job and you're going to be successful.
Wow. The question is, who are Mouse going to be facing in the grand final? Is it going to be G2 or is it going to be Valiant? We are going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to find out.